Hey, church family, it's me, Pastor Rich. It's Wednesday morning. Wanted to share a few thoughts on this extra. I'm in the church parking lot, just took my daughter to school, and wanted to connect with you before the day gets going. I shared this with our men's study group, the guys, on Monday night. I shared this story in a study with some other people that I'm doing from our district. Oh, my neck hurts. From an Advent study that I'm doing on YouVersion's app. And I wanted to just really feel like I want to share again this study. Not this study. I want to share this thought with you. It seems as though the things that we've been reading a lot lately in our devotionals have just continued to remind me of this thought, this situation, this story that this happened on Sunday and Monday morning this week. In light of the message on Sunday, we kind of ended that message right with, we're not just as Christ followers, as those here in our waiting. We're waiting for His return. We're celebrating His coming the first time in the gift of Jesus' birth, and we're celebrating that in the Christmas season. All the while, as people of God, we're continuing to wait for His return, and there's a lot of anxiousness, anxiety that has come and built up and is in the lives of many who are waiting. We want all things to be made right. We want all things to be made as they should be, because obviously we live in a world that things are not always as they should be. When Jesus returns, He'll fix that. I'm grateful He hasn't returned yet. I'm a part of the family of God because He hasn't. Others will be a part of the family of God because He hasn't returned yet. That He's patient in His return, not slow but patient. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything that He is giving and grateful for the fact that He hasn't returned. The point I'm trying to make is, we're not just supposed to sit and wait. We're not just sitting and waiting for His return. We're supposed to be active in it. God's in-breaking kingdom is now. He is doing things right now, transforming lives, changing things and circumstances and people, and He is making things that aren't as they should be, as they should be. Those things are happening, and we're invited into that process. Our devotionals have been leading us through this. There was one this morning. I'm doing a devotional here called Emmanuel, God with Us, an Advent devotional. And yesterday there was the devotional writing. Some of what's said will lead to this story I want to share. Now, in all this, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not trying to exalt myself in any way, shape, or form. I'm nothing apart from Christ, okay? I'm trash. I'm a selfish, hateful, spiteful, obstinate. I'm everything that you don't want in a person apart from Christ. I hate the person I was apart from Christ. I hate the person I was who wasn't sold out to Christ, who was just highlighting as a Christian, using God for salvation, but not walking with Him in relationship. I don't like that guy. And so I'm not doing that. I'm not that guy. I'm just sharing things that happened in order to what? In order to, I feel like the best way for me to share is often through my own life and example. My failures, which I feel like I talked about last week, and this is more of a success. I listened to the Lord's leading, and it led to something great. And so I'm going to read a little bit of this devotional, and then I'm going to get into that story. she talks about in this devotional, is it she? Yeah, Kristen Frey. She writes this this part of the devotional. It's this Hope organization. She's a communications engagement specialist, and she writes these words. She tells this story that when she was in high school, she had to do this extra credit project for her class. And they had to build a bridge and submit this bridge by a deadline, a toothpick bridge. And if they submitted something, they would get extra points. And so she did it like 11 o'clock the night before the deadline. So she does it quickly, puts this thing together, slaps it together. She says, I turned my sagging bridge into my teacher to earn my 10 extra credit points and didn't think anything of it. She says a week later, she received a letter that her bridge design had placed third in the county competition. And so she was invited to a dinner, and she was invited to a reception, not knowing that she was going to get more than just a meal. You know, she had the winning designers were awarded trophies, and they were rewarded swag, and they were given generous college scholarships, right? So she did this thing in the 11th hour, literally turned it in the next day, this sad thing in the way she describes it. And she's rewarded, like, beyond her wildest dreams rewarded. She says, looking around, I didn't understand how I even made it through the door. I was surrounded by kids who entered this contest each year and casually threw up terms like hypotenuse and compression forces. I'd hoped to boost my lowest test score. That was it. She turned in something, hoping to just boost her lowest test score, and yet I received far more than I had imagined. Or, truth be told, she says, deserved. And then she likens it to, I wonder if this is how Levi felt, Matthew. I wonder if this is how his fellow tax collectors felt. The other disreputable characters felt as they gathered around the table with Jesus in Luke chapter 5 when he has dinner with Matthew and his friends who were tax collectors and sinners, Luke describes. Maybe they thought, I'll go and at least enjoy a good meal. And instead, as they sat with Christ, they encountered a fullness beyond what any meal can bring. Why am I sharing all that? On Sunday night, after service, after the kids program, I was on Facebook, and there's a Three Rivers area information page that I reluctantly joined. My wife suggested I should kind of know what's going on in the area, and it's usually just, it's good information. Beard's driving me nuts. It's good information, but there's just a lot of hate and anger and opinions, and you know, I try to weed through all that stuff and just read things quickly and move on. I don't spend a lot of time in comments. And often I don't spend a lot of time reading those posts. But there was one that intrigued me that I saw Sunday night. Someone posted a picture of a guy after they had an interchange about a Christmas tree on their porch. I'm assuming a Christmas tree on their porch. I don't know if they were selling it or what the interchange was, but it turns out there's a man and his kids, and he needed a tree for Christmas. And this person, they were talking about selling the tree, and he couldn't do it or didn't do it. They didn't come to an agreement. And then at some point later on, this man returned and took the tree. Just took it off the porch. The guy was from Portage, I think, maybe in the area of Portage. Anyway, I don't know how all the details, but they were sharing a post, just kind of like, watch out for this guy. You know, he stole this thing. You know, maybe this is a thing he's doing. And after reading it, I didn't know who posted it. I know who it is now, but I didn't know it then who posted it. I didn't even know the guy at all, but I read it, and something about the way she had described it, she wasn't angry necessarily. She was just sharing, like, be careful. She wasn't being malicious in what she said. She was sharing an experience and just warning people. But I felt compelled to do something. It's Christmas season. There's extra spending on gifts for family and friends, and so we've been taking care of my mother-in-law's home and keeping everything, her few mortgages and light bill and electric bill, and light bill and electric, same thing, gas bill, home owner's insurance, and keeping things current so that our, so that we can have everything good to go when it sells. And so we've incurred a lot of extra expenses the last couple of months, but especially now. And so you have a lot of money extra to just, throw around, I guess. But I felt compelled to do something. And so I messaged her. I commented, I'll pay for the tree. How much? I said first, how much was the tree? And she responded, $30. And I replied again and said, I'll cover the cost of the tree. I just felt compelled. I just felt like I needed to do that. Someone else responded something about covering the cost too. And, I didn't know really where it was going to go from there. She didn't respond. This was all happening fairly quickly, maybe within an hour before I went to bed. And, again, I just felt compelled to pay. Why did I feel compelled to pay? I mean, she had something taken that shouldn't have been taken. Could she afford a tree? Probably. This man took the tree saying he needed it for his kids. I mean, he took something, I assume, because he felt like he couldn't afford it, but he needed it. I just felt compelled to pay for it. And so I messaged her directly and just said, hey, how can we work this out? I want to send payment. She assured me I didn't need to do that. And I assured her it wasn't about needing to. I just feel like I needed to. In the meantime, some comments had come in from people under my post. I'll cover the cost of the tree. And they were not nice. And I responded with something along these lines. Like, why are you doing this was the question. Very angry. And I responded, it's grace. God gave me what I don't deserve because he loves me. And I want to be that for other people. I want to be an extension of Jesus's grace, reminding me of what Christ did for Matthew and the other tax collectors. It reminded me of the story of the person who owed a great debt and went to the king and begged for his life and 10,000 talents or something crazy, like more than lifetimes of debt, and the king wipes it out. He doesn't do that for his fellow worker who owes him like a day's worth of work. I can't remember, 100 denarii. I don't remember how much that is, but not a lot, maybe a year's worth or something. I can't remember. It's a small amount compared to what he owed, minuscule compared to what he owed. And he doesn't forgive him. And so the king takes away his grace and his, removes the mercy he has for him and throws him in jail. Anyway, I just felt compelled to extend grace. And that's what I said in the comment. Someone else commented something really negative. I basically said the same thing. And this is all happening in the meantime of me contacting this woman, saying I want to pay and why I want to pay, and extending grace to this man who probably will never find out about this. It's not about him finding out. It's about being an example in the midst of a circumstance for others that did see, and for her also. And she thanked me, and I sent payment, and I believe she's a believer. There was words shared and thanksgiving, and God praised. End of story. I thought. Till Monday morning. I was working out at the gym. I finished coaching. I didn't have time to work out during coaching, and so I worked out after. And I don't know what time it was, maybe 7:30. I got a message from her. The message said, let's see if I can get to it. I'm going to read it. The message said, it's loading. The message said, at 6:12, excuse me, I didn't get it until later, at 6:12 Monday morning. He has contacted me. He's talking about this man. He has contacted me and wants to make it right. I let him know that it's already taken care of. And then she wrote, God bless and Merry Christmas. I responded, the Lord is good. Praise God. Some of the comments I made to her Sunday night were, I know, some people are, she said, she would have helped him if he asked. If he just said he was having a hard time, she would have loved to help. Instead, he snuck onto the porch and took it without care. And that's why she posted, be careful. And I simply said, what? I know some people are just too prideful to ask for help. I've been prideful myself in that and didn't want to ask for help when I desperately needed it. So I get it. I got the situation or how he could be feeling. And then I said, it's sad and it's sad. And yes, it's very wrong, but apart from Jesus, I am no better. And I want to help you guys and this guy, even if he's unaware. And then she sent that. He has contacted me the next morning and wants to make it right, but I let him know that it's already taken care of. Like, only God, right? I wanted to extend grace because God extends grace to me. I wanted to do something that was totally countercultural because it wasn't deserved and he did something wrong, and I get it. But I wanted to be something right. Not because of me. I'm trash without Christ, okay? But because of him. And so this was the outcome. Look what God did in the small things that we're willing to do because he says, do this thing. I want you to do this thing. He can make incredible things happen. I don't know what's going to be the outcome of this. It doesn't matter. The outcome doesn't matter because the outcome's already happened. Grace was extended. Grace was received. Let's be that for other people today. I love you all. God bless you. Have a great Wednesday.